We begin the hour with a question and an answer America may not like. The question's an old one. Who benefits? The answer is the president and anyone potentially with the last name Trump, and perhaps anyone who committed crimes on January 6th in his name. The Justice Department now has set aside nearly $2 billion to compensate the president and parties who were prosecuted for political or ideological reasons. The Attorney General says that could include men and women who attacked the Capitol and uniformed officers defending it. Justice Department also gave the president and his family what looks and sounds like a pardon by any other name over tax issues or any matters that are currently pending or that could have been pending before any government department. It's an astonishing legal shield, really, for the president. The Justice Department, led by the president's former personal lawyer, and has now delivered his former client immunity. The country that was attacked on January 6th now may end up paying restitution to some who attacked it. We have Geraldo Rivera with strong thoughts on this as well. He's here with the Daily Take. And what do you even say about something like this? They can say it's an anti-weaponization fund, and the administration is trying to say it could be anybody applying. But what do you say about it?
It's a sue and settle slush fund. You sue a friendly administration, you get a settlement, and you walk away with a big profit. I think it's outrageous, and I'm shocked that there's not more general outrage. Now, I love the president. I really like him as a person. I supported him throughout his time on the defensive in his first term with the Russia, and then the impeachment. People coming after him constantly. 2 years made his life a misery. Back in his first term. I'm against lawfare. I'm against the use of the legal process to harass your political opponents. But what the president has done here, Connell, it's shockingly blatant what he's done. He has created a slush fund to compensate victims of lawfare. In other words, he's created this slush fund that he presumably can dip into, or he has settled his lawsuit. He has settled his lawsuit in exchange for the creation of this slush fund. I want to be very accurate about this. So now you have the slush fund. Who, having been wronged by the government, has access to this slush fund? Basically anybody, but very specifically people who supported the president, maybe Peter Navarro, maybe Steve Bannon, maybe every single one of the rioters on January 6th, including those who punched the cops, who spit on the cops, who grabbed the cops. Just remember, I just ask everybody watching right now, remember how you felt when you were watching it for the very first time, before politics got into it, when you were watching what was going on there. Should those people who were doing that to Nancy Pelosi's office, going after Mike Pence, defecating in the Senate chamber, defiling that sacred place, how do you feel about them? Do you think now, having been pardoned, that they should have the right to sue, or not even to sue, to go to the slush fund and say, give me some cash. How about $1 million? How about $1 billion? How about it is absolutely outrageous. It's your money, ladies and gentlemen, and this scheme, this larcenous scheme, is made even worse by the fact that as of last Monday, a couple of days ago, Monday, you cannot, anything that the Trump administration has done before Monday, last Monday, a couple of days ago Monday, anything they've done in terms of auditing or their taxes, their businesses, their trust funds, everything cut off.
That was added.
There's no
we didn't even know
investigation
about
permitted,
that at first.
no further investigation.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.